Most Jeep upgrades are overpriced gimmicks that barely change anything, but these 5 are different. They fix real problems, cost under $50, and owners swear by the results. So today, I'm showing you 5 genius Jeep upgrades that actually work, and one of them completely changes how your Jeep feels to drive. First up at number 5 is Husky Liner's Unifit floor mats. If your Jeep still has those flimsy carpet mats from the dealer, you already know the problem. They hold dirt like a kitchen sponge, slide around under your boots, and start smelling like wet dog by the second winter. The factory rubber upgrade barely covers the footwell, and custom molded liners from WeatherTech or factory Mopar run $80 to $150 per row, which adds up fast on a 4-door Wrangler. However, Husky liners make something most Jeep owners scroll right past, and that's a costly mistake. The Unifit Trim to Fit mat starts at $33.99 straight from huskyliners.com for the front pair. The catch is, they ship oversized on purpose. You take a utility knife, score along the molded grid lines printed right on the mat, and drop them in. 15 minutes per mat, and they look factory installed. But the part nobody tells you is how universal these actually are. Husky's own fitment page lists the same Unifit running from a 1990 Cherokee XJ all the way to a 2026 Grand Cherokee. Same exact mat, just different trim patterns. Wrangler JK, JL, Gladiator, Compass, Renegade, the old Liberty, none of it matters. The rubber compound is called DuraGrip, and according to Napa's product listing, it shrugs off snow, salt, mud, oil, gas, and even battery acid. The Drive ran a hands-on review and called the rubber definitely thicker than factory all-weather mats. That tracks with what Amazon reviewers keep saying across hundreds of verified buyers. Therefore, this is the hidden detail you won't see in a sponsored ad. Husky liners are made in the United States and backed by a lifetime guarantee that reads, "No hassles, no guff." If they ever wear out or tear, the company replaces them. For $34, that's the cheapest interior protection on the planet. There's one honest caveat, though, that most reviewers skip past. The Unifit front mats can run about 1.5 inches narrower than some OEM mats, especially on newer JL Wranglers. Measure your footwell first, then trim a little long on the first cut. But that's the whole game with the Unifit. It's the cheapest way to protect a Jeep interior that actually outlasts the Jeep itself. However, protecting the floor only matters if the air you're breathing inside the cabin doesn't smell like a damp basement, which brings us right into the next one. Number 4 is the K&N Washable Cabin Air Filter. Now this one's almost embarrassing because most Jeep owners have never once changed the cabin filter in the entire life of their Jeep. The filter lives behind the glove box, completely out of sight, so it's completely out of mind. And the factory paper filter in your Wrangler, Gladiator, Grand Cherokee, Cherokee, Compass, or Renegade loads up with cottonwood fluff, pollen, and trail dust until your AC is wheezing through it. You'd notice the symptoms without even knowing the cause. The defroster fogs your windshield slower in winter. The cabin starts smelling musty by summer. The blower fan has to work twice as hard to push air through a clogged paper filter, and that's a real strain on the motor over the years. However, K&N makes a washable cabin filter for almost every Jeep on the road. The VF2064 fits the 2018 through 2026 Wrangler JL and Gladiator JT. The VF1010 covers the 2011 to 2018 Wrangler JK. The VF3012 handles Grand Cherokee and Durango from 2011 to 2025. K&N also catalogs filters for Cherokee KL, Compass, and Renegade. The VF2064 currently sells for around $36 on Amazon, while K&N's direct site lists it at $67 on sale. Therefore, this is the math your dealer doesn't want you running. A disposable factory cabin filter costs $20 to $30 at the parts counter, plus another $50 to $100 for labor if you let the dealer touch it. The K&N listing reads word for word, "Engineered to be washable, reusable, and durable, this cabin filter is designed to last for the entire lifespan of your vehicle." Backed by a lifetime limited warranty. You pull it out, rinse it on the lawn with a garden hose, let it dry, and drop it back in. 5 minutes per year, and you never buy another one. K&N states, "Increased airflow improves heating and cooling efficiency." That's a qualitative claim, not a published percentage, so don't trust any video that throws a fake number at you on this one. But owners across Wrangler Forum and the JL Wrangler forums consistently report stronger defroster output, faster cabin cooldown on hot days, and noticeably fewer allergy mornings in spring pollen season. But the real reason this one earns the Genius label shows up at year 3 or 4. By then, a disposable filter has cost you $60 and still ends up in a landfill. The K&N is still in your Jeep, still washable, and still warranted, never needing replacement. However, before we hit number 3, real quick, if any of this is genuinely saving you money or steering you away from a $1,000 mistake, smash that subscribe button right now. Before we continue, if you love saving money on your Jeep and avoiding the expensive mistakes dealers never warn you about, check out my ebook, The 500,000-Mile Jeep Blueprint. It's packed with the maintenance tricks, hidden fixes, and longevity secrets most owners never learn. The link's down in the description below if you want it. Number 3 is the ride-on-air rubber antenna. We need to pause for an honest disclosure before this one. The ride-on-air antenna is Wrangler and Gladiator only. If you've got a Grand Cherokee, Compass, or Renegade, those use different antenna mounts entirely, usually a shark fin or a hood-mounted base, so this swap won't even thread on. But if you own a Wrangler JK, JL, or Gladiator JT from 2007 all the way to 2025, the factory antenna is the most complained about piece of OEM design on your whole Jeep. The stock antenna is a 31-inch metal whip sticking out of your fender like a lightning rod. It scrapes the arch every single time you go through an automatic car wash. It slaps your windshield when a low branch bends it back on the trail. And if you've got an attached garage with tight clearance, you've already played the daily game of ducking the antenna or breaking off the tip on the door frame. However, the fix runs you about $27. The ride-on-air 13-inch flexible rubber antenna lists at $39.99 on rideonair.com, but it's almost always on sale for $26.99. Amazon prices float between $25 and $28 year-round. You unscrew the stock antenna by hand in under 60 seconds with no tools required, then thread the new one in the same way. The usual catch with short antennas is they sacrifice reception. Therefore, this is where Ride-on-Air pulled a clever move with an internal copper coil packed inside the rubber. A logged comparison posted by a Hawaii-based owner ran 6 different radio stations through the stock antenna and the Ride-on-Air 13-inch back-to-back. The numbers came in surprisingly tight. The OEM antenna averaged 52.0 across the 6 stations, while the 13-inch Ride-on-Air averaged 52.5. The shorter 7-inch version dropped to 46.5, which is exactly why you want the 13 and not the 7. A verified Amazon reviewer put it cleaner than any spec sheet could. The review reads, "Better than stock, I can now get 11 stations clear enough to set as presets. That's 5 more than the OEM antenna. And because SiriusXM lives on a separate antenna on the Jeep, satellite radio doesn't change at all after the swap." There's one rural caveat to flag though. Owners under heavy mountain or bridge cover report slightly more AM static than the stock whip. Highway and suburban use shows no meaningful difference. But this is the hidden detail most reviews skip. The Ride-on-Air has more verified Amazon reviews than almost any other Jeep accessory on the platform, which is wild for a part costing less than a tank of gas. That's real owners coming back to rate something that solves a daily annoyance. However, the next one fixes another daily annoyance for almost nothing. Number 2 is the Diode Dynamics Interior LED Kit. If you've ever dropped your keys in a Wrangler footwell at night, you already know factory Jeep interior lighting belongs in a museum. Dim, yellow, and barely better than a phone screen on lock mode. The dome bulbs and map lights in pretty much every Jeep before 2020, plus a lot of base trims after, are still incandescent bulbs running technology that hasn't meaningfully changed in 50 years. However, swapping them takes 30 seconds per bulb and turns the entire cabin into something modern. The Diode Dynamics Interior LED Kit for the 2007 to 2018 Wrangler JK runs $44.95 direct from diodedynamics.com. They make a separate kit specifically for the 2018 plus Wrangler JL and the Gladiator JT. And for Cherokee, Compass, Renegade, or Grand Cherokee, the same concept works with universal 194 base and 41mm festoon LED multi-packs from brands like Lasfit or Ala Lighting for $15 to $25 on Amazon. The reason Diode Dynamics matters more than the random Amazon LED brand is they're one of the only companies that publishes real, measured lumen numbers tested in-house. Therefore, you're not buying marketing fluff dressed up with fake brightness claims. Stage 1 of the kit hits 460 lumens, while Stage 2 pushes 560 lumens. Their product page reads word for word, "All Diode Dynamics LED lighting is rated with accurate, measured lumen figures, not calculations or guesses. We test the true output in-house and provide you the real numbers to compare." That's something almost no Amazon LED listing will ever tell you straight. Compared to the factory incandescents, you're looking at roughly 5 times the perceived output inside the cabin. The Quadratech reviews on this exact kit consistently read, "way brighter than the factory," and "huge difference for the money." Available in white, red, blue, or amber. And the red option is actually a hidden trick most Jeep owners completely miss. Red light preserves your night vision while still letting you read a map or check gear at a dark trailhead, which is exactly why hunters and overland campers prefer it for late-night work around the rig. Install is genuinely stupid simple. Grab a plastic trim tool, pop the lens, pull the incandescent, plug the LED in, then snap the lens back on. The license plate bulb comes included in the kit too, which ends those random dim plate tickets cops love writing. But this is the honest caveat Diode Dynamics publishes themselves. The JK kit isn't compatible with 4-door Rubicon or Willys Unlimited trims because of a BCM flicker issue. Owners of those trims should grab Universal Auxito or Ala Lighting bulbs instead, which still run under $15. However, that sets up the biggest upgrade on this whole list, because lighting is one thing, but the real reason Jeep cabins are exhausting on a long drive has nothing to do with the bulbs. And number 1 is the Kilmat sound deadener. This one's the upgrade most Jeep owners assume costs $500 or more. Doesn't matter if you drive a Wrangler, Gladiator, Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Compass, or Renegade, every Jeep on the road is louder than a competing SUV at the same speed. Wrangler and Gladiator wind noise is basically a meme at this point. The Grand Cherokee transmits more road roar than its luxury rivals because of the tall, boxy shape catching wind. The Cherokee KL lets road noise through thin door cards, and the factory insulation under your carpet is about as thick as a single sheet of cardboard. However, the actual fix runs around $50 on Amazon. The Kilmat 80mm 36 square foot pack, sold under Amazon ASINB 0751CBXBT, is butyl rubber bonded to a foil top sheet. That's chemically the same family as the much more famous Dynamat Extreme, which currently retails for $239.95 direct from Dynamat store for the exact same square footage. Run the math yourself on this one. Kilmat comes out roughly 4.5 times cheaper for chemically equivalent material. But the part that actually matters is the proven result documented on camera. Jordan Matthews ran a documented 90-day Kilmat road test for CarExplorer.com, published April 19th of this year, with real decibel meter readings taken before and after at 70 miles per hour. The baseline came in at 76 decibels of cabin noise. After install, the same cabin measured 72 decibels at the same speed. That's a verified 4 decibel drop, and 4 decibels is the difference between a conversation you have to lean in for and one you can have hands-free at highway pace. Therefore, the JL Wrangler forums show members reporting 5 to 10 decibel perceived reductions when Kilmat gets paired with a Hotheads headliner kit. Install's the only real catch on this one. You're pulling carpet on a Wrangler floor pan, so budget 3 to 4 hours including brakes. The tool list is simple though, just a utility knife, a small roller from any hardware store, and a shop vac to clean the bare metal first. One pack covers your floor pan and firewall with leftover sheets for the doors, which is actually where most road roar enters the cabin. There's one honest warning soft top owners need to hear. Don't apply butyl mat where water can pool, especially under the rear seats on a soft top Wrangler. Stick to flat floor pan, firewall, and door interiors. And quick disclosure on that 4 decibel number. Car Explorer is an affiliate site, not an SAE acoustic lab. Forum reports back the figure up consistently, but treat it as a real-world test rather than an engineering certification. But this is exactly why Kilmat earns the #1 spot. Every other upgrade on this list adds convenience or saves money over time. This one changes how the Jeep actually feels to drive every single mile. That wraps the list. 5 cheap Jeep upgrades that actually deliver real results. If this video helped you out, subscribe and drop a comment with the first upgrade you'd try on your Jeep. And click the video on screen right now for even more Jeep tips most owners never hear about. And remember, if you want to keep your Jeep running for the long haul, check out the 500,000-mile Jeep blueprint linked below. See you next time.